My name is Sarah, and for 12 years I believed marriage was about building something unbreakable together. My husband, Michael, and I met in college. He was steady, kind in small ways, bringing me coffee on long study nights, remembering my favorite songs. We married young, bought a modest house in the suburbs, and dreamed of filling it with children someday. My younger sister, Lena, was always part of our lives. She lived nearby, came over for Sunday dinners, laughed at Michael's bad jokes. I never once worried about them. The first cracks appeared slowly. Michael started working late more often. Lena began dropping by when I wasn't home. I told myself it was nothing, family helping family. But one rainy October evening, everything shattered. We were sitting at the kitchen table after dinner. Michael looked at his hands for a long time before speaking. "Sarah," he said quietly, "I can't keep pretending. I've fallen in love with Lena. It's been growing for years. I tried to stop it, but I can't." His words landed like stones in still water. I felt the room tilt. I asked the only question that mattered, "Does she feel the same?" He nodded. "She does." I didn't scream. I didn't cry right then. I just stood up, walked to the bedroom, and closed the door. Behind it, the sobs came hard and silent. The man I had built my adult life around had chosen my own sister, the girl I had protected, shared secrets with, loved like a second self. The betrayal doubled every time I pictured them together, the glances I had missed, the moments they stole while I was trusting them both. The days that followed were a blur. Michael moved out within a week. Lena didn't even try to explain at first. When she finally called, her voice trembled. "I'm sorry, Sarah. I didn't mean to hurt you. It just happened." I hung up without a word. Family dinners ended. Holidays became solitary. Friends didn't know what to say. Some quietly took sides, others disappeared. The worst part was the silence where laughter used to be. I spent months in a fog of grief. I lost weight. I couldn't sleep. At night I replayed every memory, searching for signs I had ignored. Was I too focused on work? Too predictable? Too trusting? The questions looped endlessly. But slowly, something else grew inside the pain, anger, not the explosive kind, but a quiet, burning resolve. I refused to let this define the rest of my life. I started small. I joined a support group for betrayed partners. Hearing other women's stories, some almost identical, reminded me I wasn't alone, wasn't broken beyond repair. I went back to therapy. I began running in the early mornings, letting the rhythm of my feet drown out the thoughts. I reconnected with old friends who had nothing to do with my old life. And I changed things I could control: new haircut, new clothes, new routines. A year later, Michael and Lena were married. I wasn't invited, of course. I heard about it through a cousin who felt guilty enough to tell me. That day, I didn't stay home crying. I drove to the coast alone, sat on the beach until sunset, and let the waves carry away what I could. It wasn't easy, but it was mine. Time did its slow work. Michael and Lena's life wasn't the fairy tale they imagined. I heard whispers, arguments, money troubles, regrets. One evening, almost 2 years after the divorce, Michael called. His voice sounded smaller. He asked if we could talk. He said he had made a terrible mistake, that he missed what we had, that things with Lena weren't what he thought. He even asked if there was any chance. I listened quietly. Then I said, "Michael, you made your choice. I had to make mine too. I'm happy now, in a way I never was before." I wish you well, but this chapter is closed. I hung up. No anger. No tears. Just peace. Today I live in a small apartment filled with plants and books. I have a job I love, friends who know the real me, and a quiet strength I earned the hard way. Lena and I haven't spoken in years. Sometimes I miss the sister I thought I had, but I've learned family isn't always blood, it's who shows up when it hurts most. Betrayal like this leaves scars, but it doesn't have to leave you broken forever. You survive it one breath at a time. You rebuild. And one day, you look back and realize the person who walked through fire is stronger than the one who never had to. If this resonates with you, or if you'd like to talk more about it, I'm here. You're not alone.